there was a desire to make greenhouse remarks, to make the arches needs to be done. A bending machine, here in this case, the blanks have already been cut. This is channel to the size that is available. Done. Or 140. Channel iron. For the smaller side supports, you can basically use angle iron for the connectors. But I had this material, so I used it. There is a shaft here as well. Like holders. All of this was purchased at the metal base, scrap metal reception, including various types of scrap and other materials. Only in this case, this bowl, adjustable, it is used. I used to do woodworking, and I had some big clamps left over from that. Well, these are the blanks, and the next ones. Now, I'm going to start making it. Basically, if we simply take the cost of what is lying here, but I'll roughly say approximately how much this was purchased for. Somewhere around 400, 450 hryvnias, maybe a little more, around $50 to purchase a machine. It's worth the order. 560 hryvnias. Also, in terms of power, let's say, or in terms of reliability, it will be much weaker because it uses materials are significantly much thicker and more powerful. Now I'm starting the welding U-shaped regulator. I'll roughly lay it out now. For now, this is how it will look. U-shaped. The regulator will be plus. Here it will be to walk, to press down. Another one, VAA. All of this will be secured to the channel, and there will be similar brackets to hold it, not just small brackets for the channel. Additionally, they will be raised in such a way that they can be bent. Well, the details are visible basically, I think it's clear. I'll keep filming the next steps. As we went along, we took the welder and started by welding it together in this way. You could say the base of our future machine. Well, there shouldn't be any questions here, everything is clear. I cut a hole in the channel and I welded the nut, screwed it in. Still hot welding. See, you see that the hot part is just welded on, and the screw itself is hot. The screw is all screwed in. You could say that half the job is done. Next, now we need to weld the pads on and insert them to weld on. Sleeve shafts. The further work consisted of, what is it about, in this case, the bearings here are internal, about 3.5. This is a cut piece of metal. You can see that it was cut with a grinder. The sprockets are welded on from the bicycle. Here are the bicycle chain and identical sprockets. For now, this is still a structure that isn't welded or secured, just roughly estimated. This side is exactly the same. What are the sprockets and chain for, in order to be able to, turning the handle, move this pipe. Whoever knows who did it, used it, knows. Well, and here, I'll attach a pedal from a bicycle, I think. I'll screw this on. Precisely then I'll weld it. I think that the effort will be enough to turn the profile pipe. Well, now I'm going to continue assembling this structure, so it's all just lying there. we see that nothing is welded. Shafts, hot. The shaft is raised off this platform in order that when it goes down, it can be pressed to allow for that. Here we see, if we do it like this will be for us. From here to there, the maximum arc. But I think the circles are about 50 centimeters. I won't be doing it, as I plan to. As I said, I'm building a greenhouse as long as I'm satisfied with the result of work. I'm satisfied. If we understand the principle. There's not much precision here, as we can see that it moves a little. Of course, if there was a lathe, the shaft could be made differently. But for now, we're using what we have, which is welding. I'll put little dots in these places so that the shaft doesn't move around. It won't go anywhere, and there won't be much rotation speed here. And I think the reinforcement will be enough. That it turned out preliminarily but it turned out to be such a design. Bearings. I took the shaft from scrap. The diameter is about 30.5. It's 30. I tacked it with dots so it wouldn't fall out. Lathe. It's not hard. This mechanism moves easily. I thought about fixing it at first so it wouldn't move left and right. Well, not necessarily. This side too. In this case, if we look at the arc. One downside, from what I saw, well, it's a profile pipe. You can see by the thickness. It's 2.5, I think, or even 2.2. Or 2.5 in thickness and 30 by 30. The heaviest part here is with this screw to press and make a dose. No one has adapted anything for this yet. I'm just taking a pipe. It's not secured to anything yet. Well, this is the most wonderful part. The first bend is not visible. On such a pipe, if we take something thinner, the rebar, or a profile pipe even thinner, then it will be done even easier. The purpose of the bicycle. You'll just simply wake up. Pure savings, no less than 3.5. That's all I'll be doing here. Well, what of course I will definitely do that. Without washers initially means we're looking at it. In this case, there are no limiting washers or anything. A float on one side and on the other. And the square, as we can see, the fans are not visible. The length of the pipe is currently square, 3 meters. It would definitely be better if it were 6 meters long, but the pieces ended up with me 3 meter ones. I'll have to bend it in 3 meter sections and then weld it.